Fall is approaching us rather steadily, and before we know it, the first frost will come. And if we have any plants outside during that time, we've already endangered our plants. So we need to find that sweet spot and that opportunity time to actually transition our house plants from outside to indoors. And I'm going to show you guys how over here. So let's go. Hello plant community, thanks for tuning in to this channel. My name is Pam, and today you guys, we're going to be talking about these plant babies over here. These are the plants that I've had on the ground of my deck, and I'm going to be starting to prepare them today, showing you guys what I typically do before I bring them in the house. Now, if this seems like something that you're interested in, please don't forget to hit that subscribe button. Thank you so much in advance. Now, before I actually start showing what I do and going into actually doing it, I wanted to show you guys one thing, which is pretty cool. Check it out. You see this? This is my Hoya Trubiana, and it's already like in my midsection. And I wanted to share that with you guys because this plant baby has been growing extremely rapidly, so I'm super excited and surprised to actually share that with you. So I'm going to show you guys exactly what I do here. For those of you who've probably followed me with bringing my plants outside, I used houseplant systemics, and I was extremely shocked that I even got it, because previously when I tried to purchase it, it would not be available to deliver in my area. So I don't know what happened, if that fell through the cracks, but that's what I used in the beginning when I brought my plants outside. I also used it, if you guys remember, I did a mid-year check-in, mid-growing season check-in with my plants, and I used it during that time specifically for my Hoya wall that I have over here, but I never got around to doing this. So what I'm doing today, you guys, is just going to be more of a natural approach, starting off with spraying the foliage itself. So I have over here, which is my insecticidal soap. This is actually a store-bought brand that I poured into this container, but you don't necessarily have to buy insecticidal soap. I just brought it because it was just a little bit more convenient, but you can make your own by, this is a 32 ounce, so to give you an example, you can fill it up with water, put about, I say, 2 drops of your mild dish detergent, and I say about I would use 2 capsules of alcohol, but you want to make sure that the alcohol is not too strong. Give it a good shake and it should be ready to go. So I'm just going to spray these plants down. Now, of course, you want to make sure not only are you spraying the top, but you want to make sure you're spraying kind of like underneath of it as well. You want to get a good coating on all of the entire plant. This right here, you guys, let me see if I can bring you closer. This right here is my Pariso Verde. Usually on my big leaves like this, I would take the time to actually wipe them down. And more than likely, when I bring these plants inside, such as my Pariso Verde, my Crotonus over here, I also have horsehead philodendron behind us, along with my ruby rubber tree plant. Those leaves are wide, so I do take the opportunity, you guys, to wipe them down. I usually use a cloth, get like 3 parts water. No, I take that back. I usually get a cloth or get a little bucket of water. I pour a little bit of lemon juice, probably a cap full of lemon juice. I pour 2 caps full of alcohol, and I also use a drop or 2 of dishwashing soap, and I usually just wipe the front as well as the back. Now I'm just trying to get these leaves right here. These plants are getting way big now, extremely huge. I'm not mad at it at all. But when it comes time to cleaning the leaves, and you're doing it inside, this is so much easier to be able to do this outside. We'll bring you guys around. Right here is my devil's backbone, and she had lost a lot of leaves down at the bottom, but I noticed that she has filled out quite nicely. I was spraying this part thinking that some of the leaves would come back, but it doesn't look like it has, but it does look a little fuller than before, so I am happy about that. This is my horsehead. This is another one that I said I would actually wipe, and more than likely I'm still going to do that again after I bring them in. Philodendron painted lady. I can say for the most part, it took her a while, but she definitely has gotten a little bit more color here since I put her outside, and that was the goal. So I'm so glad about that. Something else I wanted to point out. I feel like this video is turning into something else, but this is my Monstera subpinnata, and this was a last-ditch effort to see if she would grow. She has grown a lot of leaves since I brought her outside, and I think this is a Cebu blue that I put in here, but I honestly don't remember when I did it. So look, it's just hanging, but it looks elegant nonetheless. But I am super proud of her because she was on her last leg, you guys, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to put her outside and see what she does. If she wasn't going to grow or do anything, because I was losing all her leaves left and right, I was going to have to chuck her, but she wants to live, and I ain't mad at her. So we pretty much sprayed down the leaves at this point. The next thing that I want to do is actually cleanse the soil or give my plants a drink. Now what I did is I created a solution. It's actually right here in this jug that I made. Now it's basically, now I filled it up to the top, so it's actually 3 parts water, 1 part hydrogen peroxide. And the reason why it has color is because I put some of my myco in here. And it's more or less just the hydrogen peroxide is gonna help cleanse the soil and cleanse the roots. The good part about it is it will give oxygen to the roots and make the roots a little bit more healthier. It's almost like vitamin C to the plant if you think about it during winter season. The only downside about this is that it does kill the bacteria in the soil, but it does the bad bacteria as well as the healthy. So because of that, you guys, this is just a one-time thing. I don't do this like very often, so this will be like a once a year type of thing, only when I'm transitioning my plants from from outside indoors. So yeah, so let's just water them. I completely forgot about Big Bertha over here, so For the most part, I can honestly say for my Hoyas, I don't really have too many issues with form of pests, at least out here. Honestly, I think I've been having more issues with pests inside my home than actually outside, and that's probably because my wall has been, the spiders have been protecting the plants. So I thank them for that. I wanted to share something else before we move on. This is my philodendron Atabat Fluense. Um, Roots grew wonderfully um, throughout this growing season, but the top part of her did not too much, which is fine. I'm just glad that she's still alive. She did grow probably maybe like 2 leaves. I love those backs. And she's been focusing on all of these crazy aerial roots. I know some of you guys is probably like, Pam, put her on a moss pole. I haven't decided yet, you guys. I do have a few moss poles in my home, and I don't want to have a whole lot of them, so I'm kind of on the fence as far as whether or not to put her up. I appreciate the shape of the leaves now. I know she can get larger and things like that, but sometimes small is also a good option to go with. Now, my final thing, you guys, that I would do is, that I'm going to do is actually use this diatomaceous earth. It's already in a pre-squeezable form. I'm just going to squeeze a thin layer on the top part of the soil. Now you want to keep in mind, this is pre-pest management treatment. If I had some kind of infestation of some kind that was just out of control, or just any form of pests actually on leaves and things like that, then I would probably take this diatomaceous earth and create a spray type of solution and spray it directly on the leaves. But because I don't have that knock on wood, thank goodness, I'm just going to do the thin layer on top. Now, this is good that I'm doing it outside, but you want to remember, if you ever decide to do this inside your home, it's important to wear one of these. Please do so, because the residue, it really cakes up. So, but since we're outside, I don't feel like I'm going to necessarily need it, but indoors you definitely need to be mindful of the ventilation. Now, honestly, I said a thin coating of this, but once you spray it out, it kind of sometimes do a little clump. You kind of got to play it by ear. Another thing too, it is recommended that once you water your plants again, if you want to repeat this cycle, once you water it again, you need to do this again, because it's best for the coating to kind of like stay on the soil. I wouldn't be Pam without sharing with you my pride and joy, Petra Croton. She has done an amazing job out here. So now the challenge for me begins in the fall time as well as winter, is keeping as many leaves on Plant Girly as possible. So what I'll do next is, more than likely these plants is going to stay out for outside for another week, a week and a half before I actually bring it in. I'll kind of more or less let the weather tell me exactly what's going on. I keep a watchful eye on those temps moving forward, especially the nighttime temps. I want to make sure that they're not going below 50. If I see that we're teetering on 50-ish and possibly could take a dip, surprisingly, that will be a key indicator for me to actually bring them in. So this is one step that I do to prepare my plants into my home. And last year, you guys, I was trying to do everything all at one time, and it was extremely exhausting and really unrealistic. So each year I learned something new and tried to incorporate it to make it a smoother, better, easier transition for myself. So I'm doing things in stages so that when it is time to bring my plants in, that's all I have to do is just bring my plants in, and I can sit down, have a cup of coffee, and just relax. So yeah, this is pretty much it. Thank you so much. So that wraps this video up. Keep in mind, if you love foliage as much as I do and you love listening to planty things, definitely subscribe to this channel if you have not. And keep doing what I've been asking you guys. What about these thumbs here? Keep pushing them up, you guys. I've noticed the increase. The help of you pushing those thumbs up has been helping out my channel, and I appreciate it so much. Enjoy your day wherever you are in the world, and until next time, guys, much love. Bye.